Welcome to Sunset News on Wednesday, the 23rd of February. My name is Ashwin Berry. In the next 30 minutes, we bring you news, local as well as international, stories from the community, economic indicators, tomorrow's weather and sport. First in the news tonight, government in the dark over Namco's Recon stake sale. We were not even aware of a potential transaction until it appeared in the media. These are the words of Public Enterprises Minister Leon Schuster on Tuesday regarding National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia's intent to share half of its stake in the Kavango Basin project currently being explored by Canadian firm Recon Africa. Recon Africa voiced intent to purchase Namcor's 5% stake in the project in a deal worth 31.75 Canadian million dollars, which is the equivalent of 377.5 million Namibian dollars and $2 million US dollars, the equivalent of 30.2 million Namibian dollars in cash. Schuster yesterday told Namibian Sun that government has not sanctioned Namcor to sell its shareholding in the project. He said cabinet would have the final say. I made it clear to the chairperson of Namcor board that such a transaction will require prior approval and that they may not proceed until they have attained formal approval. In the next story, forged COVID results. Medical student appeals jail time. A medical student is battling to be released from a Namibian prison after he was sentenced to 2 years behind bars without an option for a fine for forging COVID-19 test results at a border post. Musa Piri, 28, a seventh-year medical student, was arrested alongside 22-year-old Namibian medical student Martha Nampala in August 2021 at the Ngoma border post in Katima Mulilo while leaving Namibia. Piri, a Malawian, was on his way back to Zambia to continue his studies at Cavendish University in Zambia after a visit to Namibia. Both pled guilty to charges related to producing fake COVID-19 test results to border officials. Although the defense and public prosecutor proposed that the court impose a fine, Katima Mulilo magistrate Clara Mwilima did not accept their suggestions. She sentenced Piri to 24 months on 2 counts related to the fake COVID-19 test results and Nampala to 12 months. She did not provide an option for a fine. Now, within 5 days after Grootfontein's new mayor and the town's councillors were sworn in, the SWAPO party recalled and suspended her and others just to recall the decision the next day. The new mayor, Talita Garises, was sworn in last week Thursday, just to be suspended by the Grootfontein District Executive Committee on Monday, together with SWAPO members Tuafeni Simon, Fastudu Malwa, Anna Oshurus, Innocent Mandosa, and Susan Swartz. This was apparently because they were in violation of the SWAPO Party Code of Conduct and Disciplinary Procedures. The district committee apparently were dismayed and embarrassed by the town's swearing-in ceremony, in which the opposition forces, such as PDM and IPC, took over the council, while the SWAPO Party fought hard and tirelessly to win 4 seats at the 2019 regional and local authority elections. SWAPO's regional coordinator, Susanna Hikopua, however, declared in a letter on Tuesday that this decision is regarded as null and void and that the District Executive Committee must recall its letter and reinstate the comrades before the day goes down. This follows as 2 previous swearing-in ceremonies of the town's leaders were halted by disagreements among councillors, and the town has seen its previous mayor, Lovisa Iyambo, withdraw herself to hand over her powers to Garises. Now, mining companies in South Kaib, the Hospitality Association of Namibia, conducted its annual congress in Lüderitz during the past Friday and Saturday. The Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism made use of that opportunity to announce 5 new concessionaries that will be allowed to enter the South Kaib National Park, an area previously not accessible to visitors as it was registered as a restricted diamond mining area. COVID-19 might have placed a temporary halt on this development, but now each of these 5 tourism operators can take people into that area and showcase its natural beauty and mining history. That bears the question whether it is a good idea to remove all traces of modern mining history, as they can be seen by these photos presented by NAMDEB during the Congress. These mining sites will be 100 years old in another 40 to 50 years, which would theoretically make them just as remarkable as Elizabeth Bay and Coleman's Corp are today at a similar age. In the next story, Florin verdict on Friday. I don't want him to go free, says Florin's daughter. In an interview given by the daughter of the infamous Swakop butcher, Mr. Thomas Florin, new information came to light. Florin, 54, filed an application for a remission of sentence at the High Court in December last year. On Friday, Judge Shafimana Uyetele is expected to hand down his verdict. She says that her brother, Marcel Florin, submitted letters to the court in which he claims the whole family, including Florin's granddaughter, have forgiven him and want him to return home to Germany. That, she says, is a lie, and her brother is misleading the court with this submission. In the next story, the Minister of Justice, Yvonne Dausab, tabled the Combating of Rape Amendment Bill in an effort to curb the increasing number of sexual violence cases in Namibia. The bill, amongst others, provides an additional ground for coercive circumstances for rape, the increase of certain minimum sentences for rape, as well as the complainant being informed if bail has been granted to the accused, the conditions of bail imposed, and if bail proceedings are postponed. According to Dausab, the support of victims as well as victim and witness friendly courts is also high on the priority list of the ministry, and with the Katutura Magistrates Court identified as a gender-based violence court. That brings us to the end of our top stories. After the break, Community Talk. Let's get into the community talk. Schoolgirls missing out on classes due to their menstruation cycle remains an issue at schools, and the situation at Tutaleni High School is no exception. Here, Leandro Lowe talks to learner Kimberly Elago about what more can be done to educate both boys and girls on periods.
Okay, Kimberly, the school just received a hefty donation of sanitary pads. How is this going to help some of your peers here at school? How is it going to help you even here at school?
For starters, I think this is really great. Like a lot of kids here, they are less fortunate kids, so helping out where possible is really, it's a good deed, okay? And like for some kids at home, they don't have sanitary pads due to the fact that the parents don't have money and so forth. So helping out when needed helps the kids to also know that there's somebody out there looking out for them.
Tell me, a lot of learners, a lot of girls get embarrassed when it's that time of the month. Do you think the school or the community needs to do more to educate learners on menstruation, both boy and girls?
Yes, I think they really should. Like for boys, they tend to make fun of girls if they are on their menstruation cycle. Yes. Sorry. So like now the girl is on her periods. She doesn't want to go to school because she's afraid of the judgment from others, and that makes her. She might even end up committing suicide just because of the fact that people will judge her, and to the fact that she doesn't even know what's happening to her body. So like they have to educate the learners that it's a normal thing. They shouldn't be embarrassed of it. And as for guys, they should start like respecting ladies due to the fact that they go on menstruation cycles and not just make fun of them.
Exactly. Now, what is your message? What would you like to tell other people, other companies, as a learner of Tutaleni High School when it comes to helping and about menstruation in general?
As a learner of Tutaleni High School, I would like to advise other companies and people out there to help when needed. It's not only that you just don't have to help when you are asked to. Just be that good Samaritan and help out when necessary. And about sanitary pads and stuff and so forth, yes. I feel like what you do has an impact on the person you are doing it to. So if you are donating sanitary pads to the learners, this only gives them more courage to know that it's a normal thing, that she's not the only person going on her menstruation cycle. So like all the women do. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
A truly important conversation. Now, in our story of the day, we'll be talking about homelessness in Namibia. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Now, in our story of the day, Yolanda now talks to a car guard who claims to be homeless about the cost of going to a shelter. Have a look.
I speak to Sien Richter, who claims to have been living on the street for most of his life. His life has never been stable, and he resorted to petty theft and housebreakings from a young age, which landed him in prison. After his release a couple of years ago, no one wanted to employ him permanently. He now works as a car guard in the CBD area and works only on tips. He says he is an old man and the youngsters should create a better life for themselves and go look for proper work and not steal his business as a car guard. There is a lot of fighting amongst the car guards, with many a fist fight breaking out, each just trying their hardest to score a couple of bucks when a motorist parks his car. Some even offer to wash your vehicle. Most of the car guards in the CBD area admitted that they are all drunkards and most are pickpockets. Sien says he stopped stealing after going to prison. He admits to drinking regularly and heavily. When asked what will better his life, he says that the cost of going to the shelter is too high at 55 Namibian dollars per night, which includes dinner and breakfast. They do, however, need to leave the premises by 7 a.m. the next day. Some shelters in Windhoek make use of tents as a place to sleep, and with the current rainy season, most of the people inside the shelter have lost their belongings because the water seeped in from underneath. I wanted to know if Sien would be able to afford the shelter if he stopped drinking, but he declined to answer. He said that the shelters are almost always filled to capacity. Another car guard, known as Jan, says the people who claim to need space in the shelter are not vetted properly, with most renting out their homes in the informal settlements and then staying at the shelter because it is cheaper and includes meals.
We all deserve shelter. Now, Finance Minister Ipumbu Shimi will be tabling the budget for the national year 2022-2023, financial year 2022-2023 tomorrow in Parliament. We'll be talking about that in your economic news after the break. Now, in economic news, Finance Minister Ipumbu Shimi will be tabling the budget for the financial year 2022-2023 tomorrow in Parliament. This will be his third budget since his appointment in 2020. According to local analysts, under the current depressed economic conditions, one would have liked the minister to table an expansionary budget. However, the constrained fiscal space, the minister would be forced to retain spending at the same level as the previous year's budget. Analysts further pointed out that creating a conducive environment to attract investors will be crucial in driving the economy going forward. It is important that government focuses on growing the tax base by increasing participation in the formal economy, growing the number of taxpayers by making it easier to start and run a business through increased private sector employment and providing an environment for improved returns, rather than by increasingly taxing the same base, Philippe Susiku reports. Now let's get into your economic indicators. The Namibian dollar is down against the euro but has held its ground next to other major currencies. On the NSX, MTC stock is down 2.80%, with Capricorn stock going up by 0.90%. Nictus stock is holding its ground at 1.75 points as Trustco stock dips by 12.04%. In commodities, gold is down 0.2% as copper makes a 0.14% surge. This is Sunset News weather after the break.
The My Property Show provides viewers with the best-in-class property content, from looking for the perfect house to transforming it to the perfect home, with focus on interior designing, transforming your garden into a tranquil haven, to going green and having the funds and security of financing and insurance. The My Property Show has it all. Tune in and make your house a home with our monthly My Property Show on Wednesday evenings at 6:30 on all the NMH Facebook platforms and our website TV channel 1up2, 1up2.com.
We can prevent violence against women before it happens. It means tackling the root causes of violence, working with men and boys to end power over women, which is often normalized and justified. Transforming these root causes and preventing violence needs political commitment and leadership, laws and policies that promote gender equality, investments in women's organizations, and resources for prevention work. But prevention also starts with you. You can start by educating yourself. Speak out when you get a chance, advocate for survivors' rights, and always listen to survivors. Preventing violence against women and girls before it actually happens is the most effective way of ending it. So let's start now.
Thank you for staying with Sunset News. Let's have a look at what you can expect with regards to the weather. Expect sunny conditions in Windhoek and Rundu with maximum temperatures of 30 and 35 degrees respectively. Partly cloudy conditions are gracing Oranjemund, with Mariento being the hottest in the country at 38 degrees and Aranos following closely with a maximum of 37 degrees expected. Now, there's been an interesting twist to the Russia-Ukraine story involving the USA, naturally. So stay with us after the break. International news.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to another exciting edition.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's get into your international news story. In the 24 hours after Vladimir Putin signed a decree recognizing 2 breakaway Ukrainian territories, the European Union, the UK and the US bought a combined 3.5 million barrels of Russian oil and refined products worth more than $350 million at current prices. On top of that, the West probably bought another 250 million worth of Russian natural gas, plus tens of millions of dollars of aluminium, coal, nickel, titanium, gold, and other commodities. In total, the bill likely topped $700 million, and that's the way it's going to be, at least for now. The US and its European allies will continue buying Russian natural resources, and Moscow will continue shipping them, despite the biggest political crisis between the former Cold War warriors since the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. With other adversaries, say Iran or Venezuela, the White House has been quicker to use oil as a geopolitical tool. As a result, both Tehran and Caracas cannot sell oil legally in world markets, not just into the US. However, Russia remains free to ship its oil into America and the UK and continues to buy Russian diesel too. At this point, neither Moscow nor the US and its allies have an economic, political, or military interest in weaponizing oil, gas, and other natural resources. The fears of the Kremlin cutting the gas supply remain simply that, fears. Any military trouble remains confined to the 2 breakaway territories, which are far away from the mighty Russian oil and gas pipelines that crisscross Ukraine from east to west. Now, Druzhba, Soyuz, Progress, and Brotherhood. That's the company that operates the gas pipeline network of Ukraine. They tweeted, "Keep calm and transit gas." Very interesting twist. Something else that's interesting? Well, sports after the break.
The My Property Show provides viewers with the best in-class property content, from looking for the perfect house to transforming it to the perfect home, with focus on interior designing, transforming your garden into a tranquil haven, to going green and having the fun and security of financing and insurance. The My Property Show has it all. Tune in and make your house a home with our monthly My Property Show on Wednesday evenings at 6:30 on all the NMH Facebook platforms and our website TV channel 1up2, 1up2.com.
This is still Sunset News, and these are your sports stories. The Namibia Hockey Union Bank Windhoek Indoor Hockey League this season will be a test to see progress the clubs have made, League Administrator Marijke Short has said. The season begins on Friday with clubs battling it out for top honors in what is predicted to be an exciting season. The games will be mainly played at the Windhoek Showgrounds and in Swakopmund at the MTC Dome. Last year, the Saints men and women teams were crowned champions of the league. Hopefully they have competition this year. Now, Oshinene Sports Club's Alfonso Shatindi has expressed happiness towards the club's progress and development. The club has recently begun its quest to produce top-class athletes in the Omaheke region. The club had a few athletes competing at Athletics Namibia's Grand Prix at the weekend in Redfontaine. Shatindi hopes that they will be able to groom the athletes into the next big stars of the region and the country with the support of corporate Namibia. Well, we all know how support worked out for Christine Boma. In the last of your sports stories, the Maize Triangle Soccer League, sponsored by the Dundee Precious Metals Tumeb Community Trust, is planning to host its annual general meeting in 2 weeks. The meeting will pave way for the season, which organizers hope can start in March. Member of the league, Jefta Gawab, has revealed that more clubs are interested in joining the other existing 12 clubs, but they as organizers will, however, have to inform the sponsors in order to deliberate on funding increment. All right, it seems like a lot of seasons are starting in Namibia. Very good to see. Now, if you missed the beginning of our broadcast, worry not. Your highlights will be after the break. Thank you for staying with Sunset News. Let's get into your highlights. Government in the dark over Namco's Recon stake sale. We were not even aware of a potential transaction until it appeared in the media. These are the words of Public Enterprises Minister Leon Schuster on Tuesday regarding the National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia's intent to sell half of its stake in the Kavango Basin project currently being explored by Canadian firm Recon Africa. Florin verdict on Friday. I don't want him to go free, says Florin's daughter. In an interview given by the daughter of the infamous Swakop butcher, Mr. Thomas Florin, new information came to light. Florin, 54, filed an application for remission of sentence at the High Court in December of last year. On Friday, Judge Shafimana Uyetele is expected to hand down his verdict. Now, the Minister of Justice, Yvonne Dausab, tabled the Combating of Rape Amendment Bill in an effort to curb the increasing number of sexual violence cases in Namibia. The bill, amongst others, provides an additional grant for coercive circumstances for rape, the increase of certain minimum sentences for rape, as well as the complainant being informed if bail has been granted to the accused, the conditions of bail imposed, and if the proceedings are postponed. And with that, we have come to the end of the show. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, oneup2.com. Sunset News is screened on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 94 every weekday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. I am Ashwin Berry, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.